The last picture up there, I'm sure, is what most Taylor people remember when I was at IWU, me talking to a ref. So, I would just like to thank everyone. It's a blessing and an honor to be included in this 2025 class, and I want to congratulate all those that are in this class and for what you've accomplished athletically, but again, what you're doing off the field or off the court. I don't know where to begin. I have thought about this. I mean, I think it starts with God's plan. When I graduated, I went to Findlay High School in Ohio. Everybody knows Ben Roethlisberger, so that's the name everybody remembers. But I went to Findlay High School, and I had a bunch of small schools chasing me. And I was leaning towards going to a school in Arkansas. And I had two really close friends in high school. I was the point guard, and the off guard was also the quarterback on our football team. And he tore his knee up, and he had already committed to play football at Ball State. One of my teammates, Mark Hosteller, who was my roommate here initially, said, "Hey, there's a thing called youth conference at the school that I'm going to go to, and it's on this weekend." And I came to Taylor for youth conference. And as fate would have it, they put me in Rick Seaman's room. Rick Seaman was a basketball player, a tennis player, ended up being a faculty member here. But that's the room I was put in for the weekend. We had a little bit of a lull in the weekend with all the programming, and Rick said, "Hey, do you want to go to the gym and play?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll go." So we went over. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in Coach Odel's house, and Rick and those guys are saying, "You need to come to Taylor." I didn't know how anybody would handle it. I went home. My mom and dad were divorced. My dad was not happy. He wanted me to go somewhere else. And I went to my high school coach, who was not happy. But then the football coach came forward, and our head football coach at Findlay High School was a Taylor grad. And he talked to my high school coach, and everything became, this is where he needs to be. And I came here, and there were just people who poured into me and created something. And I think what I would say today, more than anything else, Taylor University, it's not about the buildings, and I know there's a lot of positive things going on, but it's about the people. And I had faculty members, Dr. Herb Nygren, who would sit there, you guys know, and challenge us in ways. I was a Bible Christian Ed major. I know that's hard to believe too. But I had Dr. Music. In Christian Ed, I had Dr. Sig Zilke. Dr. Zilke and Coach Patterson came at the same time. And there's a group of us alums that had the opportunity to play for Coach Odell, played for Coach Patterson. And Coach Patterson and Dr. Zilke came at the same time. And I ended up being a senior instructor in a personal development class with Dr. Zilke. And I had Coach P as a coach, and I had Sig as a prof, and I was helping him in his personal development class. And so I was getting it in the classroom. at the same time I was getting it on the court, and it was unbelievable. There were just people. Again, Al Smith is here. Al touched my family's life, my dad, in a way nobody had a chance to do it. And it was an amazing experience. I think the guys, Steve Gabrielson's here, Dr. Gabrielson, Dave Close, and the list can go on and on and on of the guys that played for Coach P. And I think we would all tell you the same thing. It was an amazing experience. It was hard. It was hard. Coach used to say, hard is good, good is hard. But he changed our lives. And I wasn't expecting to be a coach. That's the other thing I would say. God, when I was a senior, we had Josh McDowell come to campus. Some of the older people in here would know who he is. But Josh worked for Campus Crusade. He wrote the book, Evidence That Demands a Verdict. And he came and he met with all the religion majors, and he told us, he said, you have been in a sheltered environment. And if you think you're going to go from Taylor, and I was thinking I was going from Taylor to seminary, he was like, I would encourage you not to do that. Go out into the real world and get a feel for what the world is about, then go to seminary, and you'll have a better idea how you're going to help meet people's needs. And so I went to work for Youth for Christ in Findlay, doing a program called Youth Guidance, working with the juvenile court system. And through that experience, I got offered a coaching position, of which I wasn't planning to be a coach. I went to Liberty Baton High School. They were 0-21 the year before. I knew I couldn't screw that up. When we won 6 games, then we won 10, and then we won 13, and Coach called and said, would you come back to Taylor and be the assistant? And it was through his influence that I got into coaching, and I realized that coaching was a ministry. It wasn't about winning and losing, but it was about touching lives in a real way. I can't say enough. I've got a number of former players here. Paige was a part. She was the MVP of the NAIA National Tournament in 2013. She was an All-American in basketball and in track and field. But I was blessed. Mike Springer is here. He's a Taylor grad. Mike also helped me over at IWU in the coaching side of things. It wasn't done by myself. My family, my kids, those of you who have coached, you know that your family takes a hit. I missed Josh's senior night. There was a lot of things that happened because we had games. And then Terry being there. And the girls can talk to you about the impact and there was a number of players that Terry would meet with on a one-on-one basis. We had a couple of kids at the University of St. Francis in Illinois that came to know the Lord because of her and her impact. I'll leave you with this. Coach Patterson would often say, respect the process, appreciate the struggle. And I think life is a process. And I think there are struggles, and definitely teams go through struggles. And our teams here, when I was the men's assistant coach, I was a part of the stretch where Coach, the men's program won 25 games. That's a challenge, guys. 25 games, 10 years in a row. And I'm going to tell you, we did it because everybody pulled together. It wasn't a one-man show. It was us doing it together as a team. And the greatest moment for me, and I'll end with this, as a coach, when we would get into the NAIA tournament and start And when we got out to Iowa, and we were able to make 22 straight trips to the NAIA National Tournament, which is an amazing thing. I would always write, like Coach did, I would always write, here's our offensive emphasis of the night, defensive emphasis, then the 3 keys. The highlight for me, and it was because of the seniors, they would pass down what our program was about, and they invested in the younger kids. When we would get there, one of the freshmen, it seemed like on every team, would add at the bottom of the 3 keys, keep the seniors in a uniform, 1 more game. And the first time I saw that, when I walked in, I was like, we're going to be just fine. Because these kids, they didn't play with each other, they played for each other, and it made my life really easy. I really appreciate this honor. I think it's more than just a single person. It's the players, it's the assistant coaches, it's the surrounding thing, and I was blessed to have an opportunity to be discipled by Coach P and learn and grow, and then have players like Paige and Crystal and Ashley and Jenny and all of them that are here. And yes, we did play Bethel, and I did have to try to figure out a way to stop Natalie. We were able to do it 3 years, but then the 4th year it didn't happen. Thank you.